She didn't see it coming, neither did science. Inside an ant colony in Japan, something happened that biologists had never documented before. A queen, the mother of every worker in the nest, the center of the entire colony's existence, was attacked. Not by a predator, not by a rival species breaking through the walls. She was attacked by her own daughters, the workers she had raised, the ants whose entire purpose was to protect her. They turned on her within hours, and they killed her. It wasn't a malfunction. It wasn't chaos. It was the result of a plan executed by a single outsider who had slipped into the colony undetected days earlier. A parasitic queen who had just discovered one of the most sophisticated manipulation strategies ever recorded in the insect world. This study was published in Current Biology in November 2025, and what it revealed changed what we thought we knew about chemical warfare, deception, and the limits of insect intelligence.
To understand what happened, you need to understand how an ant colony actually works. At the center of every colony is a single queen. She is the only reproductive female, the only ant capable of producing offspring. Every worker in the nest is her daughter, and those workers are, in a very real biological sense, extensions of her. Their entire existence, foraging, building, defending, nursing, serves one purpose: ensuring the queen survives and reproduces. Workers recognize their queen through chemical signals. Particular hydrocarbons, waxy molecules on the surface of every ant's body, act as a chemical ID card. Workers constantly read these signals. They know their queen's scent. They protect her from anything that doesn't match. This system has worked for over 100 million years. It is one of the most stable social structures in the animal kingdom. The parasitic queen found a way to break it completely. She smelled like family. She wasn't. The parasitic queen, Lasius orientalis, belongs to a group of ant species that have evolved to infiltrate the colonies of closely related species. Her target, a Lasius flavus colony, a species whose workers and queen she would need to deceive completely. Before entering, she did something researchers had partially documented before, but never fully understood. She rubbed herself against host workers she encountered outside the nest. Deliberately, repeatedly. She was chemically disguising herself, copying the colony's ID system, and applying it to herself like a uniform. When she approached the nest entrance, the guards checked her chemical signature. It matched. She walked in, the colony had just accepted an outsider as one of their own. Had 4 days before she made her next move. She sprayed her, then stepped back, and watched. 4 days after entering the colony, the parasitic queen located the host queen and approached. From glands in her abdomen, she sprayed multiple jets of fluid onto her target. The fluid contained formic acid, a compound produced in the acidopore gland. It triggered an unprecedented response. Within minutes, workers began attacking their own queen, not the intruder. Their actual mother, the one they were biologically programmed to protect. They bit her, they cut her apart. The host queen was dead within hours. The parasitic queen who had stepped back during the attack was untouched. She had not lifted a single appendage against her target. She had simply applied a chemical signal that turned a mother's own children into her executioners. At Design by Nature, we study the systems behind survival. The signal said, threat. The workers responded. The mechanism, as documented by Taku Shimada and colleagues at the University of Tokyo, works through a form of chemical mimicry that exploits the colony's own alarm system. Formic acid sprayed directly onto the host, queen mimics the chemical signature of a threat or a diseased individual. Workers are programmed to respond to exactly this signal, eliminate the source. Under normal circumstances, this system protects the colony from sick queens who could compromise reproductive fitness. The parasitic queen found a way to activate that system, artificially targeting it at a healthy queen and trigger a response that the workers had no way to override. Their own biology became the weapon. What makes this especially significant is that the host workers showed no aggression toward the parasitic queen throughout the process. Their neural and chemical systems processed the sprayed queen as the threat and the sprayer as just another nestmate. The manipulation was complete, precise, and irreversible. With the host queen dead, the colony entered a state that would normally signal its eventual collapse. Workers have a lifespan of weeks to months. Without a queen producing new workers, the colony ages and dies. But the parasitic queen was already there, already chemically accepted as a nestmate, and she stepped into the reproductive role immediately. She began laying eggs. The orphaned host workers, whose chemical recognition system had accepted her weeks earlier, continued doing what they were programmed to do: care for eggs, feed larvae, defend the nest. The colony functioned, but it was no longer producing host workers. Every new ant emerging from the brood was the parasitic queen's offspring. Within a single season, the entire worker population had been replaced. The colony had been completely taken over, not through force, not through open combat, but through a sequence of chemical deceptions so precise that the host colony participated in its own replacement without ever detecting the threat. This manipulation didn't evolve overnight, and host colonies didn't remain passive. Research from the University of Mainz, studying the related slave-making species Temnothorax americanus, documented what biologists call a co-evolutionary arms race. As parasitic queens evolved more sophisticated infiltration strategies, host colonies evolved better detection mechanisms. Some host populations developed enhanced sensitivity to foreign cuticular hydrocarbons, detecting slight mismatches in chemical signatures that other populations would miss entirely. In response, parasitic queens from high prevalence areas evolved lower concentrations of their own recognition cues, making them chemically harder to distinguish from host workers. Two species have been locked in this chemical arms race for millions of years. Each adaptation by one side selects for counter-adaptation by the other. Neither side has won. The war is ongoing in forests across North America, Europe, and Japan right now, in colonies too small for most people to notice. But host workers are not entirely without recourse. They can't save their queen, but they can kill her replacement's children. A 2009 study published in Behavioral Ecology, later supported by additional research, documented something remarkable. Enslaved host workers systematically destroy the eggs and larvae of their parasitic queen. Not all of them, not openly, but at measurable rates significantly higher than what would occur by accident. The workers can't undo what was done to their mother, but they can sabotage the next generation. By killing parasite brood, they reduce the parasite colony's reproductive success and potentially increase the chances that neighboring host colonies survive without being infiltrated. It is, as the researchers described it, the first documented evidence of slave rebellion in ants. A form of resistance that doesn't free the individual, but imposes a cost on the parasite that shapes the evolutionary trajectory of the entire interaction. The system is not as one-sided as it appeared. The 2025 Current Biology paper contains a detail that stops most readers. 2 citizen scientists, 1 kitchen, 1 discovery. The 2 key co-authors who directly observed and documented the parasitic queen's behavior, Taku Shimada and Yuji Tanaka, are citizen scientists, not affiliated with a university, not working in a professional laboratory. They each raised ant colonies at home and introduced parasitic queens. They filmed what happened with basic recording equipment. Shimada observed the Lasius orientalis queen invading a Lasius flavus colony. Tanaka recorded the Lasius umbratus queen taking over a Lasius japonicus nest. Their observations provided the evidence the academic team needed. The molecular and chemical analysis was done in university labs, but the actual discovery was done by 2 people with ant colonies in their homes. Watching it happen in real time, recognizing what was significant about it. Science doesn't always begin in a laboratory. What makes this behavior especially significant is that it evolved independently in multiple ant lineages across different continents. Polyergus samurai in Japan physically kills the host queen directly and then chemically disguises herself using a different mechanism. Onomorium saintchi in Africa achieves queen replacement without formic acid using a different chemical pathway that researchers still haven't fully characterized. Polyrachis lamellidans uses cuticular hydrocarbon transfer so sophisticated that its chemical profile shifts measurably after contact with host workers, a form of active chemical learning. The same basic outcome, infiltrate, eliminate the queen, take over the workforce, has been arrived at by evolution multiple times through different mechanisms in species that share no recent common ancestor. This is called convergent evolution. And when the same solution appears repeatedly across unrelated lineages, it tells biologists something important. This strategy works so well that selection keeps finding it. Over and over, across millions of years of independent evolution, a 2025 genomic study analyzed the genomes of multiple parasitic ant species and found a consistent pattern. Lost 500 genes, gained chemical precision. Parasitic species show convergent loss of specific gene families. Genes involved in foraging, navigation, and worker-related behaviors are reduced or absent because parasitic queens don't forage, don't build, and don't need the neural machinery for those tasks. What they retained and expanded were genes related to chemical production, pheromone sensing, and cuticular hydrocarbon synthesis. The genome of a parasitic queen is, in a very real sense, optimized for deception, stripped of everything unnecessary. Evolution didn't just change behavior, it rewrote the genome to support it, sharpening the molecular toolkit for infiltration. The parasite is not a modified worker ant. It is a completely different biological strategy encoded at the DNA level. Chemical manipulation, it's not just ants. The mechanism documented in this study using a chemical signal to override an organism's protective instincts and redirect aggression toward an unintended target has direct relevance to fields well beyond entomology. Neuroethologists studying how chemical signals modify behavior in social animals are using parasitic ant systems as models for understanding how pheromone-like compounds can bypass rational assessment in group-living species. The question of how a colony, a system with distributed intelligence, no central brain, and thousands of individuals can be completely deceived by a single chemical signal is one that researchers in collective behavior and swarm intelligence are actively studying. And at a more basic level, the 2025 paper raises a question that cuts across biology. If a system as robust and ancient as ant colony recognition can be defeated by chemical mimicry, what does that tell us about the reliability of any biological detection system, including the ones that operate in more complex animals? Long-term field data from research sites in North America and Germany shows parasite prevalence varying dramatically by location. 1-inch, 3 colonies. Some forests, right now. In some forest sites, up to 30% of host colonies are parasitized at any given time. In others, fewer than 5%. The variation maps onto both host defense capability and parasite population density, consistent with the co-evolutionary arms race model. What this means in practice? In certain forests, a significant fraction of the ant colonies you walk past are operating under the control of a parasitic queen. The workers foraging for food, caring for larvae, defending territory are doing so entirely for a queen that is not genetically related to them, a queen that took power through chemical deception, and they will never know. Their detection system was defeated before they had any chance to use it. In a forest in Japan in November 2025, 2 people watching ant colonies in their homes documented something that changed how biologists understand social manipulation in insects. A queen without fighting, without allies, without any physical advantage, walked into a colony that should have been impenetrable. She applied a single chemical signal to the resident queen and watched as that queen's own daughters became her executioners. It took days, it left no trace of force, and by the time it was over, the colony was functioning exactly as before, except that everything it was working toward now served someone else entirely. Nature has been running this experiment for millions of years, in hundreds of forest patches across 3 continents, in colonies so small that you could step over them without noticing. question the 2025 paper leaves open is the one that stays with you. How many other systems, biological, social, or otherwise, are running the same play at scales we haven't thought to look? If you want to keep looking, subscribe. Next video, an animal that doesn't manipulate other species. It manipulates physics itself.